Well, hello good people and welcome back to the channel. If you come for a new Hell's Kitchen episode review, then you're in the right place. Tonight, I'll be sharing my thoughts on episode 9 of Hell's Kitchen Battle of the Ages. And for this review, I simply want to talk about the highlights for the episode and give an overall rating for what I saw. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. We start the episode off with 10 remaining chefs, which means that the black jacket round will be starting soon. Sadly, the red and blue teams are uneven at this point. And I found it interesting that when Gordon asked the red team which chef they wanted to put on their team, they all said Alex. And this is because they likely realized that he is the leader on the blue team. However, Gordon sticks them with Brett, which I think is a fair choice, because he is the third best chef on the team. So with the newly formed teams, Gordon announces that the first challenge of the episode will be a steak challenge. And the type of steaks that will be cooked for the episode are the hanger, rib cap, rib eye, New York strip, and filet mignon. The chefs from each team will be competing in carnival games in which the winner gets a 5-minute cooking advantage for their protein. What I found interesting about this challenge is that the blue team had the most chefs that won their 5-minute advantage. But when it came down to the actual steak challenge, the red team ultimately won. Alex owned the loss for the blue team because he didn't get his sauce on the plate, but one could argue that Alex did not have the 5-minute cooking advantage like Sakari and Aby did, yet they still lost their rounds too. And this is because they didn't cook their food up to Gordon standards. I think at this point in the competition, Alex is still the chef to beat, especially when all the chefs have a level playing field. I think that Sakari is still talented, but he isn't consistent enough to make it to the finale. I also expect either Cheyenne or Daphne to make it to the final 3 round. But because the red team won, they get to jet ski in San Diego, while the blue team has to clean the dorms and peel veggies for dinner service. Now let's talk about this dinner service. It was definitely a bad service with all the raw protein that was sent back to Gordon for both teams. On the blue team, Alejandro and Vlad made their mistakes with salmon and ribeye, but Vlad continued to show why he does not belong on a show like this, with his repeated mistakes, and Alejandro is also starting to show signs of being inconsistent. On the red team, Tara was completely lost at times, while Brett was back to making his usual dinner service mistakes. Gordon then tells both teams to nominate 2 chefs up for elimination. With the blue team, there was really no debate for any of them. They nominate Alejandro and Vlad, and I agree with their nominations, because they both screwed up the most. However, on the red team, the younger chefs are still treating the process like Survivor, and they're ganging up on Tara. But they do debate on whether they should nominate Brett or Daphne for elimination as well. Now, I've never shied away from how I felt about Tara on this type of show. She's definitely a talented cook, but I don't think that she would ever make it to the finale. However, it is my opinion that if she were on a better team that embraced her, then she would definitely put out a better performance. I can't really say the same for Brett or Daphne in that regard. The red team ultimately settles on Tara and Brett for elimination. However, the red team's quest to get rid of Tara blows up in their face as Gordon decides to eliminate Vlad instead. I completely agree with this elimination because Vlad was clearly the weakest link, and he was the only chef that used a cake tester instead of a meat thermometer to determine whether his steaks were done. But overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I will give this episode a 7. I was pleased with what I saw tonight, and I'm comfortable with sticking with my predictions for which chefs will be making it to the finale. But I would definitely like to hear from all of you out there. How did you like tonight's episode? Do you agree or disagree with the chefs that are up for elimination tonight, as well as the chef that was eliminated? Feel free to leave all comments below in the comment section, and let's talk about the episode. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.